Our Capstone project was working with Adventium Labs. We are making a Agree plugin. Our team was Ainsley, Charles, Jeremy, myself, and Riley. A little introduction. Again, this is our team. Myself, Jeremy, Ainsley, Riley, and Charles. We are working with Adventium Labs. Our sponsor was Danielle Stewart, and some stakeholders were the U.S. Army.
So a brief overview of our overarching project. It's called Grand Unified Modeling of Behavioral Operators, or GUMBO for short. And the goal of this project is to unify a cross-section of behavior representations in AADL to support unified behavioral analysis. So our job within this project is to create a plugin for the OSATE environment that translates face models to AADL documents in the Agree format. So we're creating a plugin that consists of a UI for system engineers to determine and set specific parameters and limitations to face models. So for more detail, we have some descriptions of what each of those acronyms mean, but essentially our job is to create an OSATE plugin that reads an AADL instance model and translates it to an Agree model. Additionally, we're creating a UI for system engineers to determine set specific parameters and limitations to face models.
As part of the solution that we prepared for this project, the overarching goal of the output was to generate those assertions to be put onto AADL models, those being assumptions and guarantee pairs. To do this, we divided the project and the solution into 4 different branches, where we handled a user interface, which we wanted to be snappy, quick, and easy to use. We performed AADL file iteration to gather up all the information from existing AADL files. We prepared a data storage component that would store the work users had done generating their assertions, assumptions, and guarantees, and save them locally for modification later. And then finally, we had to find ways to package up and finalize our work so that the developers over at Adventium Labs could use the material we prepared. And now we will show off a demo in OSATE of what our plugin looks like.
For the demonstration portion of our short video, we're going to be showing off the functionality of this button here, the check model button. So we will be using the AADL models that were provided to us by Adventium. We will use sensor system for this particular demo. When we click on sensor system, we see that check model becomes enabled. So we will click on check model. And when we click on check model, we can see that the file path is selected by the plugin on the local machine. So that way it knows where to write the assumptions and guarantees generated through the use of this plugin. So when we hit OK, we will see that a window pops up to generate these assumptions and guarantees. So the first page is, of course, the assumptions. So I will type out test assumption for the name of our first assumption. And we'll just see if ENV radiation, which is the environment radiation, is greater than 0. If a developer wants to, they can click on the custom statement option, and then they can add more complex assumptions and guarantees on the next page as they see fit. But for now, we'll just go ahead and click cancel, and we will click on the plus, and then we see that an assumption was generated. To demonstrate the functionality of this delete button, I will just select it first and then delete it. And then we will use test assumption as our name, since we can, because otherwise the agree statements wouldn't be unique, but since we already deleted it, we can use that. So we will just hit plus again, and then we will move on. Now, guarantees works pretty similar to the assumptions page. So I'll just say test guarantee. And then we'll do the same check for environment radiation, but then the output we will put as one of these options. We also have a drop-down up here for the selection of these, as well as the selection of the input variables. So we'll even put environment pressure just for this particular example. We'll just see if environment pressure is greater than 0, then we'll shut down. Maybe we'll say greater than 100, just so it makes sense with the context of what we're doing here. We will put that, and then this is the guarantee that gets generated. Once again, there's the custom statement option. But for now, we'll just hit cancel on that and hit next. And then this is our output page. So that can be copied to clipboard, but otherwise we can just hit finish and we will see that the output successfully wrote to our text file located at the path that was determined. That has been the demonstration of our plugin for OSATE.